Hey Stampers! Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. Typically I show you how to make one card, right? Well today I'm going to show you how to make 10 cards in 20 minutes from start to finish. Now the clock hasn't started yet, so you've got to wait till I start stamping. So we're going to make this card right here with the Happy Days stamp set, the Stampin' Up! Happy Day, and we're going to make 10 of those cards. A lot of times I have to make thank you notes for my customers and friends, of course birthday cards for the month. And so I'm going to show you exactly how to make all 10 cards in 20 minutes. Okay, so I am going to let you know that all of the sizes and dimensions will be on brandyscards.com. You'll find a link in this video where you can see all of those measurements. We've also already prepared all of my cardstock. I've cut everything and I'm ready to go. Okay, so do you guys have your timer ready? Okay, so now you might have to give me a couple extra minutes there at the end, but we'll see if we can do this. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and start your timer now. Okay, so what I have done is I have gone ahead and cut my Whisper White cardstock. So I have 10 pieces of cardstock. Now a lot of times when you fold these in half, you know, a lot of ladies use the bone folder. My husband loves the bone folder. I typically find I work faster without it. You don't always have to have those things. They're great though. It definitely makes a nicer edge for sure. But you know, I don't mind not using it. I feel like I can work a little bit faster. So what I'm doing right now is I am just folding my Whisper White cardstock in half, and I'm just kind of making a pile in a sense, just one after another. Now what you have to do is when you do this type of assembly line, you got to think of it as like cooking shows. Who likes to eat out there? Okay, we all love to eat, right? So think of it as a cooking show. And when you're watching your favorite cooking show in the morning, maybe Pioneer Woman or something like that, the first thing that she does is she has all of her ingredients prepared, right? So that's what I have. I have got all of my cardstock prepared. So I've got the 2.5-inch punch. All I'm going to do is take it in, and I'm going to center it here in my card, and I am just going to start punching. So I have 10 of these things to cut, and I'm just going to punch and punch and punch until I get 10 of these punched out. So as I said earlier, you know, the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you have all of your ingredients ready. And when I mean all of your ingredients, don't forget your glue, your mini glue dots. You got to sit down with your Stampin' Dimensionals, maybe your jewel rhinestones. It's when you have to get up and you get distracted or you move around the room that you forget those things. And then you forget what you were doing. So anyway, it's not as bad as you think. So I am just punching the center out of my card because I kind of want this little bit of a window. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just move that aside. I'm going to set my punch aside. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to stamp all of my greetings. Now I've chose the Hello There stamp set, but you can put anything, of course, that you want on there. You might want to take it as an opportunity to make a bunch of thank you notes, maybe a bunch of birthday cards. So I am going to do Hello There because I'm excited to send a bunch of cards to my team. My team members, my Stampin' Up! Blooms and Butterflies, I want to send them a little note that says, hello there, I'm thinking about you. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to go hello there. I guess it's no surprise since I've told you guys, but that's okay. They'll still enjoy getting that, right? All right, so ink it up every single time. That way you get a nice, clean image. Wowzers, I don't know how much time we've got left, but so far I think we're doing pretty good. All right, so I've got all my greetings on there. Now I have my black cardstock. I'm going to grab my Tombow glue. Again, it doesn't matter what type of adhesive that you decide to use. It's just what works best for you. I find that I work quickest with the Tombow glue. So now here's the part that, you know, you got to kind of be, you know, you want to be quick, but you also got to be steady because you don't want your white card crooked on top of your black cardstock. And trust me, it happens to the best of us. Okay. So now basically all I am doing is, you know, a lot of times when we make cards, the base of the card is actually the card, right? But this is just one piece of black cardstock cut at 5.5 by 4.25. So it's kind of like, in a sense, maybe a postcard, right? And so the white piece on the top is actually the card. So I just thought that was kind of fun, something a little different. And it frames it really nicely. So that's what I really liked about it. Really frames it nice. Now recently I started a color challenge. I was really excited about my color challenge, quite honestly. My Blooms and Butterflies design team, we did a black and white card. It turned out fantastic, and all of the submissions were amazing. And but I had to do a submission too, you know, so this was actually the card that I did for my black and white color challenge. So pretty excited about that. Now if you're joining me and you haven't seen my color challenge yet, you can actually design a black and white card too and upload it to my post on brandyscards.com. And so that's kind of cool. You could upload your card and send us a link so we can see your website and see what you got going on as well. We would love that. All right. So how many do I have left here? I've got 3 left to glue. Okay. So we've got 3 left. Then what I'm going to do is, just as I'm gluing these down, I'm going to tell you I cut some strips of Whisper white paper. Now, you know, if you have some scraps, I highly recommend just grabbing some scraps. But you know, I didn't really have scraps that were big enough, so I went ahead and just cut some scraps because I want to show you exactly how I'm going to stamp all of my flowers, or let's call that a doily. It's in the Happy Day stamp set. It's super cute stamp set, by the way. Really, really like it. And so I've got the little doily flower. That's really all we're going to use here today. And so here is my last card. I'm going to glue this right down, and then I'm going to get into the stamping. Okay, here we go. So what I've done is I told you that I cut some strips of paper. So you're going to need like 4 of these because you're going to stamp 4 black doilies. So we've got 1, and you want to ink it up every single time. Why? Because you want a really good dark image. So I recommend when you're doing multiple cards, you're going to want to stamp all at one time. Just stamp it all and get it all done. So then really all you have is the assembly, okay? So you guys are going to totally see how I do this. All right, so I've got 2 more to stamp, and these are actually going to be punched out with my scallop punch. But if you notice on my card, I also am going to use the center of this flower. So I am going to stamp 10 more, and you'll find that you can get 5, maybe 6 comfortably on an 11. It's probably 2.5 by 11 inches on this strip, and you can get probably 5, no more than 6, pretty easily. And you know you want to make it easier when you're punching, and that's why these strips are fabulous. Okay, so that's it. That's it with the flower right now. So now what we're going to do is I've also cut some black strips. So I'm going to take my 2 3/8 punch, and I am going to punch out 10 black circle scallops. There we go. We got 4. There's 5, 6. There's 7. There's 8. All right, we're almost there. There's 9, and there's 10. And you know, typically I will punch 1 more for good measure because, you know, there's nothing like getting all the way to that point and then you're like, oh, I just need 1 more, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and put all of those right there. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take our 1 3/4 inch scallop, and I am going to start punching out my little doily out of the Happy Day stamp set. So as you can see here, you know, it doesn't actually align perfectly. There isn't really a punch that is perfect for this doily, but I just went ahead and kind of made it work. I mean, it's really cute. It almost looks like it was meant to be punched that way. So I've got 2 more to punch. Here we go, 1 more here. There we go, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and put that trash aside. Now what we need to do is we need to take our 1 1/4 inch circle scallop, and I need 10 of these. It's kind of like cooking. You need a little bit of sugar, you need a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of olive oil. Okay, so I can't talk and count at the same time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, there's 8, there's 9, 10. There's that good measure 1 right there, okay? So there's 1 extra. All right, so far we're doing pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna kind of move my piles aside. I find it's almost easier just to kind of have little piles, you know, on your station. Next thing I've got is I've got 10 more doilies, and I'm going to take my 7th, 8th circle scallop, and I am just going to go ahead and punch the center out of each of my doilies. And that's going to be the top of my card. And let me tell you, I just think this is super cool. If you punch that out, that is going to make a really, really cool card. So I am saving those because, you know, I am not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I know that I like it a lot and I see potential there. All right, so we have got 2 more to do. I know you guys are timing me and I am like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm up for this challenge. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull back my scallops, and what I like to do is line them all up in a row. So I'm going to go ahead and line all of these up so that I can see exactly how many I have here. And I'm going to start the assembly line, I call it, which is basically designing my flower. So I'm going to take and put 2 Stampin' Dimensionals here on each of my black scallops. And we're going to go ahead and run that. We're going to go ahead and just kind of run those through here. We're going to go through all of these, some black on these black scallops. And then we're going to go ahead and add our stamped doily that was punched out with the circle scallop. I love now how Stampin' Up! Has all the different scallops, the shapes of circles. Those are just awesome. If you haven't seen the new catalog, it is amazing, amazing, amazing. So you have to check those out because they are just really cool. All right, so I have 2 more to do. Some days I am better at these little mini glue dots than others, but today seems to be going pretty all right. All right, so there is my very last one. Now what I'm going to do is I've got my whole pile here of 10 of my circle scallops that I stamped and I punched. So I am just going to set that down there right in the center. And let me tell you, I just think it is so pretty. If you wanted to take it a step further, you know what you could do is you could emboss the black. You can emboss the black flowers, the big scallop and the small scallop, maybe with the square lattice or the fancy fan. You know, you could just play with it, but I think you could emboss that and it would look super, super cute. All right, so there we go. We've got that done. Now we're going to go back and we're going to put 1 mini glue dot, or I should say Stampin' Dimensional. I just interchanged those just like, you know, crazy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stick those in the center. I'm just pulling those off. And then we're going to stick our black scallop in the center. So I don't know about you guys, but I have to do this quite often. So I'm always looking for little ways or little tips that'll help me make a really great card kind of fast. And so anyway, that's why I wanted to show you guys a little bit today of, you know, what I do on a regular basis. All right, so then I'm going to stick that there because I love to give cards as gifts. You know, I buy these boxes at Uline. They are super, super cute. I can't wait to show you how cute it looks when you put your cards in them. And so here's one of these boxes. They are awesome. They've got the clear lids, and you can fit like, well, as long as you don't have like tall embellishments or lots of embellishments with Stampin' Dimensionals in them, you can fit 5 cards in there. But I usually typically put 4 and your envelopes, and then you can tie your ribbon around it. Looks really, really nice. All right, so we are like well on our way. We're doing awesome. Okay, very last steps for this for the scallops. We're going to go back through and put another Stampin' Dimensional in the center of each flower. Now you certainly do not have to pop each of these flowers up, but you know what? Again, I like dimension. I like the fact that we've punched a hole in the front of the card. So with the Stampin' Dimensionals, your flower kind of pops out of the center. So it looks really, really cool. All right, so I'm feeling the pressure now. I feel like I'm on Chopped. I need some drama. Okay, I'm feeling the drama. No, just kidding. It's not that bad. I think we're doing okay. You know, and you guys will forgive me. You know what it's like when you get crafting and chatting. You know, it all goes hand in hand. But we are working pretty quick, and it's going pretty well. So here we go. Now, what do you guys think the next step is going to be? That's right. We got to put some embellishment on there. So the other day, I started playing with the pressed clay and the pressed clay molds for Stampin' Up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Did you know that you can take some glitter and sprinkle it in the mold And then you can take your white, your clay, and you can totally make a glittery white flower. It is just the coolest thing ever. So that is what I put in my original card. But I knew that today there was no way that I was going to be able to do all of that and make 10 cards for you. So we're going to embellish them with some jewel rhinestones, which are just as pretty, if not prettier, because I love the sparkle. Well, then again, the clay is awfully pretty too. So, you know, it's all interchangeable. Okay, so we are just about there. Basically, make sure you get the mini glue dot because you don't want that embellishment to fall off. But you just pull the mini glue dots, and I'm going to go ahead. Last flower. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our pile of cards. Are you guys ready for this? What am I going to do? I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the very back of that flower, stick it right here in the center. You see that? Really cool stuff. Hello there. Hello there. I love that card. Okay, and so all I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive, and I'm just going to kind of keep on trucking. Now the next thing I'm going to do after I get all of these fantastic flowers on here is I am going to, when I was cutting and preparing all of my ingredients, I had some scrap left over, and I thought, wow, you know, that would be really cool to kind of make it look like ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp my, I'm going to stamp on my scrap, and by doing that, we're going to kind of add a ribbon. So it looks really cool. I'm excited to show you what it's going to look like. You know, and it's a little bit cheaper than ribbon, let me just tell you. I hope you guys save all your scraps, by the way. I save it all, you just never know. And you know, I'm not going to do it today, but I've even gone as far as, you'll see, stamping on my scraps, and then you can actually tie a knot in the scraps, and it kind of looks like ribbon. It is really cool, like a tied knot in the ribbon. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 strips of my scraps, and they're each 5.5 inches. Well, actually, they should be 5 1/4 long. I'm just going to kind of put them all together. There we go. Just like that, and it looks like I am missing one, so I'm going to take one more from over there. And now I've got my little stamp here, and by putting them all 3 together, now I can kind of stamp them all and get them all at the same time. That saves time, right? Those are the little tricks that, you know, that we all love to see. So I've got one more here to stamp. And so again, I am making sure that I am stamping them all at the same time, and that just saves me so much time. And it's all very pretty, and it's all hand stamped. Love that. All right, so this one I just want to go back because this one was 4 in a row, and so I missed a couple. All right, so look at that. I'm closing my ink. I am almost done. So I'm just going to go down now, and I'm going to put a little bit of my adhesive along the edge. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it along, I'm just going to go ahead and put a little adhesive along 3 cards, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to turn, because my glue was coming out pretty darn good, so rather than kind of set it down and go back and forth, I'm just going to kind of grab 3 cards here. I'm going to stick my ribbon down, and I'm going to show you. Check that out. Really cool, right? Doesn't that look awesome? It really looks like ribbon. So it's my designer ribbon. It's paper. You know, love that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stick this one down. And so once we get that one down, that one looks good. This honestly might take the longest because you just want it straight. You don't want those crooked because that could look a little funny, if you know what I'm saying. You know, but, you know, it does happen. All right. So again, you could take these strips that I have here, and you could literally tie, after you stamp it as I have done, you could tie it in a knot, and it looks so cool. And then you use like a mini glue dot, and you stick it down as, you know, after you trim it, and it looks like a ribbon. I just love doing that. Love it. So here we go. We are on card number 4. We've already got 3 completed, and I feel the time. Getting me here. Okay, so there's another one completed. All right, and so now you want a really thin line of adhesive. That way it'll dry faster and it'll hold that strip down real good. You don't want that to squirt out the sides because that just wouldn't look very good. All right, look at that. 4 more cards. Here we go. So I'm just gonna put a little more adhesive along the edge, put a little more adhesive along the edge, put a little adhesive, and then one more. Now this card is really pretty. You might not even need that little strip along the edge, but I really, really like it. All right, so I'm feeling the pressure now. You know, I might need an extra minute or two, maybe not, I don't know. You guys are probably counting me down. But at any rate, I'm really excited that we have been able to accomplish together 10 cards in 20 minutes. Look at that, look at that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Look at that. I am done. Check that out. There is 10 cards here in 20 minutes. Woohoo! Gosh, I'm excited about that. It's kind of like Chopped, you know, who's up for the challenge, right? All right, so check out these uline boxes. We're going to take another 5 minutes now, and I'm going to show you some of these boxes. We talked about them earlier. They're awesome. You get them at Uline. And so I order them by the bulk. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I have got 4 envelopes here. I have 2 boxes. And again, you know, you can put up to 5 cards in there, but I find that I like to put 4. Whoops. Sorry. I like to put 4. And so I'm going to go ahead and put those in there, and I'm going to put my 4 cards. And so I'll put these down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put 4 cards in here. Sometimes I go layer them back and forth. And I just do that so that it's, so they just lay a little bit nicer in there. So there's one box. It's just really nice. They hold them perfectly. Now with Stampin' Up, you know, we can take our own vellum sheets and we could probably score them and make our own boxes. But sometimes it's nice for the convenience of having them done really fast. All right, so right here I've got a 1/8 inch of gross grain ribbon. And all I'm gonna do is just kind of wrap it like a present. I'm gonna tie it here at the bottom with a bow. And now you can, you know, we have plenty of different stamps that you can make a tag and punch. You could punch like another scallop out of the round array stamp set that says you make me smile, or I'm thinking about you, or whatever it is. So check that out. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? I am so excited about that. Well, we're not done yet. We have one more box to do, and I'm super excited about that. So I'm gonna tell you what, whoever leaves a comment, I will pick one random comment and I will send, actually I'll pick 2, and I'll send 2 boxes of cards to you. So if you guys wanna leave me a comment, either on brandyscards.com or here on this video, I will send you a box of my cards. How's that sound? And then you guys can make some of your own, okay? Check that out. Love it. Okay, so take it a step further and try the Stampin' Up! Pressed clay and the pressed clay molds. They make a beautiful flower as a centerpiece. So I'm really excited. We just made 10 cards in 20 minutes. I hope you had fun. Hope it was entertaining watching me scramble, but it was really a lot of fun. And I hope you give it a try. Of course, get all your ingredients organized first because that really saves time. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.